Why don't you pray for us before we move on? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
Father, I pray for my brother Emmanuel, and I do just thank you for his heart and engaging in this time. Certainly with me as a very interested and avid student of this topic. But beyond that, Lord, the extension of his heart and your heart through him to others, either those that listen in to this meeting or the greater collection of people that desire to understand this essential theme of the working out of your purpose, which is the building up of a culture, or the raising up of a people. And Lord, the kind of spiritual journey that is illustrated with the beginning of one's own attainment, Lord, of virtue, of a greater perspective of one's own life and of the world around him, and then further the initiation of a transformation that spreads to family and to community, from the nation to the world. And Lord, it is such an amazing thing that we can engage in something that practically seems so small and even insignificant, but with the drive of a divinely given vision, Lord, that has to do with all of mankind, Lord, all of human history, Lord, the world itself. And Lord, not because we have any grandiose conception of ourselves or of what we can do, Lord, but even tying in a subject that has been interesting to many of us. And it's the idea of letting go of one's individuality and walking in true personality, which comes from an identification with you or with another person, Lord, so that it's not a matter of shoving others around so as to exalt oneself, but finding meaning in the very idea of relationship, true relationship, but specifically in the context of your order and Lord, illuminated by the light of your spirit of truth. So Lord, I do bless this time in Jesus' name. Amen.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Noah. Bless the Lord. Hallelujah. Well, back to the study from Chinese culture, which this portion list based on Confucius teaching, which is the main state of Chinese culture through the ages. And we know Confucius' thoughts and the idealistic way for culture is, and how to build that culture is also a continuation, and if you will, a consummation of the ways that pass on to him before the time, and which is deteriorated and usually were troubled or even discarded in many ways. The time where the Chinese as a nation had been divided. That's passed on from Zhou even prior to that, the Asian king, the wise kings. But anyway, we recognize Confucius was not interested in invent his new ways, rather be a good inheritor and a teacher that we then have been wonderfully beneficial to Asian Chinese people from the past. So in Chinese, they have this statement called 述, or 不做. 述 means expound, to explain, to teach something, to make plain something. 不做 means not to create it or invent his own thing, basically. Similarly, we say, we should always have this attitude towards God's Asian ways. Well, it's not something new. But in a new generation, in a new time, in a new environment, if you will, being discovered to make a new application for the day that we're set in. But the essence, the fundamentals, the principles always remain the same. If you can use the word precepts, that's okay. But basically the foundations of God's way are the same. The vision of his heart and his expectation of his people are the same. And the ways how that go about or being constructed or built up are the same. So therefore there are other places Paul commented on this process of building the body Christ up into one people, into one faith. He said there is one faith, one spirit, one God, one Father, one people, we can expound that. One body Christ, one headship, one head. We are supposed to be members of that family, that body Christ, citizens of the kingdom. Similarly, Confucius in many ways talking about this idea society as well, but the portion we talking about is the personal virtue, personal fulfillment in a godly way, we would call godliness. And in here actually talking about the love and a two-person relation, how to be in essence come to unison and agreement and mutual respect and love. So the word is godliness. If you're godly love, you use that word. Now then we last discussion we talked about what that love means from the past of the 克己复礼. Emphasize a little bit. 克 means to overcome. 己 means self. 复 means to restore, to come back to. 礼 means a proper way or righteous way to relate one another, if you will. Is that interesting? That's exactly what Jesus taught in expounding, for example, in Sermon on the Mount, talking about how to fulfill he himself as example to fulfill God's law or God's Asian ways. So now in this we're talking about there are things we need to overcome. We're talking about the 5 things, one is appearance, or the mannerism, one is speech, one is your sight or how you see things, one is how you hear things, right? How you then think about things or dwell upon these things, the Bible said, how you meditate on things, what are you meditating at? So for another one called the listening. What are music listening to? Why are you listening to music? So what are you looking at? So are you looking at the good things? Why you speak about things or passionately have a discourse or discussion things? Why you carry yourself in a certain way? All those things is to be, in a way, disciplined, have some kind of propriety, if you will, we're going to use a cultured way. Am I express culture? Much like Christ Jesus' representation or the image of God himself. That being said, so in practices of godly love, to talk about restore this propriety. That means to fulfill, to practice this way of proper relationship or righteous relating, if you will. That's the way how to do it. And but in them is talking about in order to do that you have some kind of reverential heart. So when you go out, you need to like treating others like your honorable guests. When you leading others, using other services as a leadership, you need to respect that occasion or that kind of interaction, much like you are doing a serious ceremony, especially when you, or in worship setting actually. So then continuing this statement, 己所不欲，勿施于人. What you don't want to do to yourself, don't do it to others. 在邦无怨，在家无怨. Do not complain or grumbling if you are in an official capacity. And do not grumble and complaining while in your home. So basically, have some consistency and do not be unrestful or discontent wherever you are, rather than show contentment and show reverence and show servitude in where you are, whether in the public entrustment or in family setting with the familiar environment. Right? So that is speaking the answer Confucius gave to one of his disciples. Now here we continue. 他们的言会also ask the same question. The answer Confucius gave is almost the same thing. So anyway, this is not a new concept. It's borrowed from the past. So here the author alludes to those occasions in the past, talking about different characters that Confucius learned from, or borrowed from actually sometime this idea. But let's move on. So there is a place recontextualize this conversation in a certain historical recording, actually speaking this disciple not merely asking Ren as a philosophical question, actually talking about how to do politics, in a way that to discharge public duty actually. And it's much in alignment with the idea where the author prior to Confucius has expounded, talking about Mu means shepherding the people. Mu means shepherd, okay? Me means the people. Is that interesting? Thinking about what Jesus taught and the Bible taught. So another disciple again asked on the same thing. And this disciple have some character flaws. The history record said he is a very, we call it slow to speak, but he is quick to speak and word compulsive, basically. And so when he asked the question, Confucius answered on his level, in a sense, so speaking about, he's addressing his, fast temper or fast speech, he said, those have godly, lovely characters will speak slower, slow to speak. Is that interesting? So this is students a little bit challenging again. Fit his character, said, oh, if it's a slow speaker, and that's all right, it's godly, righteous, or love, so Confucius said, if you can't even start slow speaking, it's basically it was very difficult to practice love, this real life. So why you think speaking about it should be faster than that? Naturally required slow to speak. So it's a very interesting way vividly depict the stories recorded talking about Confucius teach on the level where students are able to receive his teaching. He's a very practical teacher basically. Now, there are other places Confucius has the similar exposition or different expression rather on this idea of godly love. And said, I was going to translate, think this way of love is like a heavy vessel and is a very demanding road to practice it. Therefore those very hard for someone to hold it up. Very hard for someone to finish the whole course. So therefore, the best that go far, imagine someone to carry a heavy vessel, right? How far can go? Not much. So it requires as a consistency. It requires determination that as far as you can go, that is good enough in a sense. This is fittingly we depicted a different idea called perfection, okay, in Christ Jesus. There are two ways perfection. Christ's perfection can be considered as a final state being, but perfection also can be contextualized as a we approach things with a perfect attitude and perfect understanding. So not naturally getting there, but the process engaging to get there is a good one, is a perfect one. This concept is, I want to read it a little bit because it's important. This parable that holding a heavy vessel, go far as you can go and be consistent with is an interesting parable to depict exactly what Paul talking about the other places, what it means to follow Christ, to press on, don't give up. So turn with me to Philippians, I believe. Okay. Let me first find it. Okay, that is in Philippians 3 chapter 12. Allow me to read here. In 3 chapter Philippians 12, chapter 3, 12, Philippians said, not that I already, Paul speaking himself, have attained all this, or have already arrived at my goal, my end, my destiny, but I press on to take hold of that for which Christ took hold of me. Brother, sister, I don't consider myself yet have taken hold of it, not there yet. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining forward or towards what is ahead, I'll press on towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. So press on, that attitude continues. So if the end result is a profession, but not the profession here is bounded by Paul. It's a way of approaching it. 15 said, all of us, then who are mature, complete, perfect, should take such a point of view, should take such a view of things. If on some point you think differently, then to God will make clear to you. So basically crack your vision, crack your viewpoint, right? So only let us live up to what God already attained. So join together in following my example. Brothers and sisters, and just as you have us as a model, keep your eyes on those who live as we do. So in a sense, there's a model, there's a transformative work by following example. Am I a particular example? This we approach is a good example, of actually a perfect example to think about it. So Confucius used that parable carrying a wheat goes to the further distance. It's a much Paul's attitude actually. Now let's go to another disciple asked Confucius about the same thing. All this dialogue, this portion of expositions, is about how to practice godly love. So again, he asked this called Fan Chi, this disciple said, asked Confucius said, what is godly love? And Confucius said, love others, love each other. Then the disciple asked, what is wisdom? And interesting, in light with what we talked about this morning, Confucius said, well, it's good at discerning others. Fetch is a little bit confused. Then Confucius further explained, said, if you entrust upon righteous ones, upright ones, and put them above or supervise the ones who are not necessarily righteous or upright, then the unrighteous will become upright. So Fan Chi, this disciple, still understand what this means in terms of wisdom. After recline himself, and then he went to another disciple, asked, moments ago as I saw the teacher, asked him, what is wisdom? And teacher answered that if you appoint the righteous ones, upright ones, and point them above to oversee the unrighteous ones, then even the unrighteous one become upright. What that means? So the other disciple, the Zixia, began to comment and said, how rich is this instruction? The Asian king called Sun is a king, Asian king called Sun. After he became the king, he elected from among the people those wise, upright ones called, basically as in eminent positions, I guess. Then those unrighteous people can naturally fade away. Another king, again, become an emperor. He began to appoint, some upright people called the Yiren. That is the primer, okay? So then those, wicked people become disappeared. So Confucius basically give a summary of some historical experiences arise as a king, what they did after they become kings. So we recognize, I think recently you and Justin continue begin to really enjoy and meditate on the Psalm 101. I really like the meditation. What it mean to be a king? What it mean to be one, to exercise wisdom in a place, to be a godly shepherd, am I? So Psalm 78 speaking, God chose David from a very humble place to be a king, but he guided or shepherded people with the integrity heart and skillful hands. That's interesting, So anyway, I want you to read that Psalm for us, Psalm 101, if you can. Short Psalm, not that long, so.
Of course. Pull it up real quick. Psalm 101. I will sing of your love and justice. To you, Lord, I will sing praise. I will be careful to lead a blameless life. When will you come to me? I will conduct the affairs of my house with a blameless heart. I will not look with approval on anything that is vile. I hate what faithless people do. I will have no part in it. The perverse of heart shall be far from me. I will have nothing to do with what is evil. Whoever slanders their neighbor in secret, I will put to silence. Whoever has haughty eyes and a proud heart, I will not tolerate. My eyes will be on the faithful in the land, that they may dwell with me. The one whose walk is blameless will minister to me. No one who practices deceit will dwell in my house. No one who speaks falsely will stand in my presence. Every morning I will put to silence all the wicked in the land. I will cut off every evildoer from the city of the Lord.
That's a righteous shepherd, am I? Integrate heart, skillful hands. You know, here is a concept called shepherd the people. You know, and by appoint and entrust righteous ones and dismissing unrighteous ones, naturally, the whole world will be educated and become more and more godly. Is that not the way how the kingdom of God is supposed to work? Exactly, it's that way. But anyway, let's move on. So, in the reflecting this confusion of this disciples mentioned, seems he's a little bit confused by the idea of this Confucius application of what the wisdom look like. You know, so the other place Confucius actually seems share the same concept, can be used as reference. He talking about 是故仁者莫大于爱人啊. Therefore, those who really is godly or righteous, there's nothing greater than to love others. There's really is wise. There's nothing greater than know who is capable or who is good. 正者莫大于官衔 means those who are in charge or exercise governmental capacities. There's nothing more important than give official entrustment appointment to those who are upright and worthy of honor and trust. 有土之君，修此世界. Therefore, if a king have a dominion, he is able to practice the three things. 这四海之内共而已啊. Then everything in dominion or all the world will eventually come and bow before him. Is that interesting? That exactly the concept this morning was having the Psalm 110, you know, 110, yeah, in my mind. So how this getting done? So forceful, violence or force to maybe it's a force to compel, threaten others to yield to you. Through interest or deceptive ways or calculations, the gains, the losses, the good, the bad, or through enlightenment, conviction. You know, endearment to truth, righteousness, love, and peace, and mutual harmony, you know. No, God had different ways. However, he must subdue those wicked ways so they do not propagate or overrun God's people with the wicked ways, in interest, either threat, reminds either force. Bible said, not by power, not by mind, but by my spirit. That spirit, however, is not the wishy-washy thinking. All the supernatural abilities is actually a way how godly life being enlightened, enabled, and live it out into godly relationships as a people. And with the people, then will be the exaltation, God's culture. People will come to God's people, say, let us know your God, learn his righteous ways, so you can prosper as you are being blessed by him. Right? So as a pattern continually resounded and prophesied in the Bible. That's always God's heart, from the very beginning till the end. He wants to bless people, his people in this way. And I want all people to be included in this covenantal blessings, becoming his people. Now turn with me to Psalm 110 now. Let's just read it fast. I'm going to read it real quick. Psalm 110 said, Lord said to my Lord, sit on my right hand until I made your enemies a footstool for your feet. So we're bold. Seems very governmental, hierarchical construct or vision. And seems very violent. Look at the verse as the Lord will extend your mighty scepter from Zion, saying, rule in the midst of your enemies. Your troops will be willing on the day of battle. The radiant holy splendor, your young man will come to you like a dew from the morning womb. But what this battle is about? Is battle of forces with a sword and the chariot and the arrows? No, the battle is a spiritual mind. The mind is we're winning the heart and the soul and the spirit of man. That's why as a young man will come to you like a dew from morning wombs, It's basically you draw to a reality of a life. You look at the footnotes. There's footnotes, I believe, that have this different meaning of it. It's not much like, dew from heaven's morning. It's much like in the beginning there was a gross darkness. The world is formless. A light came to be. Then all creation began to flourish and come to the proper order. And the man was assigned like a dew, sent to all creation in the midst of them, to nurture them, to guide them. So in essence, now 4 said, the Lord swore will not change his mind. Your priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. This will be done. This is a service, this is a garment. This is a life. The Lord is, and your right hand, he will crush kings on the day of his wrath. He will judge the nations, heaping up the dead. Crush the rulers of the whole earth. Through the wicked way, the perverted way, will be dismissed and judged. Then he will drink from a brook along the way. Again, the meaning here is not clear. But some others will say it's follow a willful lineage, So he will drink from a brook along the way, so he will lift his head high. It's incredible, am I? So anyway, I don't want to expound too much on that psalm, but talking to you, there's a concept for the whole world to yield to righteous rule. It's always in the Bible, and Confucius here also talking about it. The how to get there with a certain godly love, and the godly love has really not more than affection now or personal between interpersonal love. That relation actually do with the governmental love. Godly love encompasses everything, especially his governmental capacity. And so top of the king has a duty to learn to love others, to learn to know who is wise and capable, to able to establish those who are honorable, righteous, and wise in official capacity. If you head of government on the king over dominion, right? So that's called in the Bible term, shepherd God's people with integrity heart and the skillful hands. How to be a skillful? You must know people. You must learn to honor and discern who is wise, who is upright. You must be capable to enable them to be elevated, especially by our unrighteous ones or unenlightened ones, so they can be helped, corrected. This is the way. It's not in the force or law or punishment to produce a culture of peace or settlement. This is using godly character, using, godly culture as influence to produce a culture of righteous peace. This is a keenly way in God. Now, therefore, wisdom as to the one who is doing policy or actually doing government or do the ruling, it's super important. They said, 智者不惑 means a wise man is not easily confused. He's not confused. And Montfort later said, 是非之心智也 means a wise heart knows how to discern what is right, what is wrong. The three, as we recently been noticing, three characters in a godly man, that is godly love, godly wisdom, and godly courage, must be equally important to build up in the man than make a perfect man. So, as to the perfect virtue or complete virtue, the three must be attained unto. Then he said, in order to get there, there's a certain attitude approach to this. 好学近乎智. Approximately in terms of wisdom is a word quick to learn. Approximated with godly, righteous, or love, that is, he will practice the thing he capable of. The law in the place we're capable of doing it. And then a courage, talking about it, he knows how to feel ashamed or feel, conscience not clean, his heart not settled, if he's not able to charge his duty or rise to the occasion with the courage and the fortitude. And, so then said, if you know how to practice the three things, then you know how to attain a personal virtue. And if you know how to attain personal virtue, then you know how to rule others. If you know how to rule others, definitely know how to govern the whole nation or the whole world. So therefore, there's starting this proximity of wisdom, much like Jesus said, we must endear ourselves or love truth. So allow wisdom, as this morning we quoted in Proverbs, speaking about the love wisdom, am I? Have your heart set for wisdom. Treasure it more than gold or silver. And this love to learn truth. So is the most important attribute in a man that approximated to attain unto wisdom. Therefore, Confucius especially pay attention to education and to learning. The three things we mentioned, the wisdom, courage, the God righteousness, important for personal virtue. But if we done it right and done it equally perfect and combine them in as a whole in your person, you're more than able to improve yourself. You're also able to help the whole world. Now, the Fanchi, this again in the form more anecdote when mentioned, this disciple asked Confucius how to practice love. This is righteousness. And Confucius answered, 居处恭，致使敬，入人宗，虽一之，一仪不可弃也. Means in everyday life, you should learn to discipline yourself. When you discharge a duty, you should treat it very seriously. When you are dealing with others, you should use the best of your heart and try the best of your abilities. So therefore, even if you live in the uncivilized world, these things are not to be abandoned. But here, Confucius separated three things in terms of how to practice righteous love or godly love. There's three words described by the man as facing different occasions or different audiences. 恭敬 So 恭 means to be reverential. respectful. 并敬 respectful. 敬 means to reverential. 忠 means to be faithful. Let's repeat. Respectful, reverential, and faithful. Other places talking about 内若敬, that is inside of you, your inner attitudes is to be respectful. As you dealing with others, who is the one you honor and respect, and you reverential. Especially think about a son to a father, a student to a teacher, a subject to a king, right? So a servant to a lord in ancient time, master, so those are things common in those hetero settings. So there's a certain way approaching another person require a certain kind of a submissive attitude and show deference and show honor. So 恭 means because with yin, it requires you to overcome yourself, to discipline yourself, to restrain yourself. There is this statement in analytics. This king was dialogue with Confucius how to be a good king, and Confucius commented on this. We are this Asian king, were a famous one. He said, he literally doing nothing, yet he is capable to govern his nation perfectly. How he did that? 公以难面而已. That's interesting. Basically, he is carrying himself in a very respectful way, and then facing is the subject of facing those who serve with him. Is that interesting? When you become respectful, honorable, something in itself is not religious, not for performance. From your heart, you will respect the duty, respect the relationship extended and required that duty. Then literally you produce a culture of honor and respect and due diligence and faithfulness. As a king, the best way to build that culture, enable us to do things, try their best, do their best, to the heart and within the capacity. This is started with our own discipline, obviously. Therefore, Zhengzi, there's a, this one we're good. Talking about the Zhengzi, the students of Confucius said, 五日三省吾身. I examine every day myself on 3 territories or three realms. So 为人众而不慕 means when I serve others, I am doing my best. So there are explanations or comments on this word for faithfulness. Means do your best, try your utmost. Right now, the title of Oswald Chambers' devotion said, my utmost for his highest. That's interesting. So those are not alien concept for what it means to be a faithful Christian, I guess. So now another story goes to another disciple who is a very principled man. He's also like Yan Hui, the best student, Confucius we're talking about. He's content with being lack of means, but the word delighted in righteous ways, so. But as the extension or the plural, or rather I would use application, okay? Fourth application, greater application of this way of righteous love, he seems not able to hang on to. Therefore, there's a time he asks, what means shame, So righteous shame or helpful shame, so it's actually, if you think about it, it's despise certain things, right? So despising certain things. So the Confucius said, if the nation is a government, is a righteous one, then you could become its officials and have your own, salary or from it. Basically, earn a living from being a salary. But if the garment is dark, and if you still try to hold a position there and make a living out of it, that's a shame. That's despicable. So, and then this students, not necessarily make the click, said, well, okay, if I stop being competitive, try to outsmart our street others, if I don't boast myself, being a little bit conceited, if I don't, jealous or envy others or hate others, if I'm not greedy, all those things I overcome, would I be considered a matter of this kind of virtue in light of godly righteousness or godly love or godly wisdom? Then Confucius said, well, if you could accomplish all this, that's very, very precious, so very commendable. But as to the high virtue for godly righteousness, well, that cannot be, so that's not quite there, basically. So now this conversation, this dialogue can be compared to another portion in the analysis. Confucius basically speaking about, again, the same concept. You have good politics in the society. If you have not a position of serving it to earn a living of it, that means you're incapable, right? So, but ancient days, you understand, intellectual those days, or people, they prepare, they're able to read, to write, those kind of things. Naturally, they can have a very good opportunity to be in a government, okay? Not like a modern day. It was an ancient day. People barely able to write, right? Barely bad books around. Books are written on bamboos, pile of bamboo, bamboo rolls, we call it. So think about it, the hard shape people those days in terms of availability for education, okay? So if you are educated, you're naturally going to be have ample opportunity to be able to serve in the government. So to give you some historical background here. But if you have a good government and you're not able to participate in it, most likely because you're not well educated, not capable. So that's shameful in a sense. Oh, that's not good. But if the government is dark and perverted, corrupted, you have a good position and earn living from it. So basically you just go with the flow, and no differentiate from those corrupt officials. So that is shameful as well. Another comments talk about, again, this part of 忠和术. 忠, again, 忠 is being faithful, okay, being precise. 术 means being forgiving, being compassionate. So these two together is the two ways we're talking about in general terms, but to how to practice godly love. You must be faithful to the righteous with God in your inner mind, so your standard is set. But as to others, you want to be forgiving, compassionate, and hope the best, right? So try your best before you give up. So, or God tell you to give up. That's in our context. So do your best. So as time goes on, this will of love, the standard, begin to deteriorate a little bit in the days. But anyway, there are other places the same disciple called Fan Chi again asked Confucius on this same topic, seems to be, that is godly love and the wisdom. And Confucius answered differently. He said, so he actually asked in a different context. He said, okay, 为政事怎样做才才明智? what is to be a wise ruler? How is to become a wise ruler? And Kongsi answered this, said, try to encourage people to practice good morals and respect the supernatural, rather, so respect God. But also show deference to them, then you are very wise. I mean, the interesting things in ancient days, this is where Confucius lost on us. So his idea for the supernatural, the spiritual, it's very blurry in many regards. Understandably, there's good ones which he hang on to. So also he's trying not to stir things up. Interesting enough, so we know that witchcraft or cult or other spiritual practices, like in the Bible and mentioned as not to do, not to practice, open up us to the influence for the supernatural from the wrong source or wrong formation, wrong entities. So Confucius actually also admonish people or advise people to not practice spiritualism, I believe. So, and respect is not means respect, I mean the way, rather don't treat it lightly and try to not open that, box of worms. I'm not sure, can of worms, like open the Pandora's box. Certain people are not wise. They super increases, super curious, but sometimes they open up portals or capacities entering the realm that it totally do harm to them and do harm to others through their unwise ways. Also, like you see, King Saul is such a personality of mine. So after God dismissed him, he began to seek a spiritualist, witchcraft, to try to come to the former kind of knowledge as supernatural enabling, where God refused to engage with him, to his own demise. So that being said, the other place said, Confucius said, 人者先能而后获，可贵人也 means you do the hard work yourself, but receive your portion or harvest, your due, So at the last one, this is the way of righteous love. You sow without expecting to be paid back. And if you in harvest to be shared, don't put yourself on the front, the center of being benefited by it. It's a way to think about it, So it's basically have a sacrificial heart, have a loving heart to put others before yourself. So this way is actually taught. Here is called yi. The word actually means righteousness. 敏之义 means the righteous people. 敏义, what is good, wonderful, upright, and meaningful, I guess, for the whole people. Now he has talking about this righteous relationships in different tenures between different relationships. It's on the 10 kinds, okay? So what it means to attain unto personal righteousness in those relationships. As a father, you become kind, loving, So as a son, you have to be respectful, honorable to your father. As a big brother, you should be full of goodness and brotherly love. As a young brother, you should full of brotherly affection and brotherly respect to your older brothers. As a husband, you should be upright. As a wife, you should be, the word submissive or listening actually is wise yieldedness. As an elder, you should always be compassionate and charitable, try to help others, basically. As a youngling, you should be submissive, listening, so as a king, you should be kind, full of love, full compassion. As a subject or one who serves the king, you should be faithful and committed. So this is 10 designation for human. What do we call it? What is the word? Vocation, if you will, of a social rules, a social relationships, right? And let's look and consider again. Father, son, one said. Brother, big brother, young brother. This is more than about, brothers not married. Actually, talking about the community, right? Each one has their own family, even, so. Then husband and wife. So you can see husband and wife. Then elders and younger ones. Then kings or rulers and those who serve them or subjects. So you can see the 5 settings. 父子, father, son, 兄弟, brothers, 夫妇, husband and wife, 长幼, elder and younger ones. 君臣 means king and those who serve him as his subjects. Is that amazing? Think about. So they each one give a word accent, one word description in those vocation or roles of life, what it's supposed to be. Interesting. And if these things are done right, the whole society will upright in the ideal society in their context and historical context with the kingly, right? And also we would call a communal, okay? Communal. Sometimes we call it, what they call the word? I forgot, I'm sorry. But it's a kinsman, those kind of things. So king is not necessarily depart from a kinsman contract. A king is your own clan, your own people, your own kings. So then this willful construct in life, so there's a comment by Xunzi, also the major teacher of this school of thought called Confucianism, is this beautiful concept called 与天地同理, the same way as the heaven and earth. 与万事共举, lasting eternity as unto the eons. 父子为大本, this is the fundamental of all fundamentals. Okay, so all the principles of all principles. So now there's an interesting narrow down on this part of talking about 鬼神, 鬼 means ghosts, 神 means gods or deities, okay? We're going to talk about this portion next time. We're going to wrap up here. And hopefully this is very interesting illustration because I want to know myself as well what is hard to say because it's a concept of the demonic or the spiritual. It's a very interesting time, especially in Confucius. We how to deal with those things. Different people have different reading about that, a different interpretation of that. This answer is a very good answer. I hope we have some good insight about it. So that being said, now we're going to wrap up here. So any comments before we do prayer? So what do you gathered? What you think you can summarize for us a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know if I could offer a comprehensive summary. I do feel like the subject of particularly the sincere expression of one's heart in the way that one goes about life, which I think was kind of alluded to in the way that Confucius put some things. In fact, it reminded me. I don't know if it's even in the Analects or not, but I think that's actually a very well-known quotation from Confucius. Is how he says something along the lines of, "Whatever you do, do it with the fullness of your heart."
Ha ha ha! That's amazing, huh? That's Paul's.
It's a very
Paul's encouragement to believers as well. So do everything as unto God. So that's a hard thing to do, right? So
yeah.
Guilty here. Yeah, sometimes it's more than thanking yourself too much, but sometimes just lazy, so not doing your best. So I'm especially guilty with my laziness. I don't like to do things. So, I like to tell others what to do.
It's a struggle with trying not to be a conflicted individual.
Yes.
But have a sense of certainly resolve in who you know yourself to be, especially in the Lord, and acting upon that.
Yeah.
Walking confidently in it, but also not wanting to assert yourself in a self-assertive way.
Expand a little
It's
bit.
an interesting balance.
I think I understand you, but I want to ascertain what it means. So assert yourself there. What do you mean?
Well, to act upon what you know to be right. And when I say no, I don't mean merely I don't mean no as in a mere subjective conviction or argument that you agree with intellectually and try to abide by in your actions and speech per se. But it's again the genuine expression and sincere manifestation of one's heart in life and living according to that. So it's not something. There are certainly things in life that you have to discipline yourself to align with in action and in speech. But there are other things that should be a natural outflow of who you are and what source of life that you draw from.
Yes.
And that, of course, reaching such a place is itself a process that requires some things on the individual's part, but other things require the hidden work of God's hand in the inner man.
So true.
And
there's a unified effort.
It is a very it is a mysterious process at the same time, but it is a very intriguing one too. So
yeah. Sometimes you lost, the intricacy there. So so deep, and so you really don't know, which is which sometimes.
Right.
So yeah.
It's a twofold work. I know certainly in the Psalms it's mentioned. There's a cry for God to reveal the hidden and presumptuous sins in us. So, but on the other side, there's also the hidden work, the hidden constructive rather than destructive work that God does in us, a work that we're not even aware of.
Yes.
And sometimes we're not even permitted to see until further down the road, and when
That's right.
Our eyes are open to our past development, seeing that we are now in a place that we once were far from.
That's so true. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, thank the Lord. Give us this review, ability to see the difference. This is actually seeing this. The kingdom of God is like a farmer go out to sow the seed. He went to sleep, right? The next time he go around the field, all the crop grew up. So yeah, the kingdom of God is mysterious in that way. We sow the seed sometimes. Paul said, God makes grow, right? So we definitely do the sowing, but it's God made it grow, collaborating there more than impersonal agreement with God in for personal growth. There is also a services there, right, in the corporate setting, in this yeah. Anyway, why don't you wrap up for us?
Amen. Lord, I have such a strong desire to know how to truly love others. Lord, what it means to love to begin with. Lord, I know that above all, you are the center of our love and our longing, and Lord, the love that we practice and pour out upon others around us are outflows of that central love that we have for your person. And I think what you are revealing to me and many others here is what the bedrock of that love is, which was, I think, at first, or in essence, is something that can't quite be described well in words. But I'm just now recalling the 3 points made some moments ago of the threefold nature of honor, which is shown in respect and in reverence and faithfulness. And Lord, what better way can one prove to have these qualities and exercise these qualities than with a true and yielded obedience? And even having recently read in 1 John, and when it speaks for so much about your love and remaining in your love and showing your love, he speaks of that love being manifested in us by obeying your commands, which are essentially the throbs of your heart spoken. And Father, in this sense, this foundation of godly love, which I and I know many others desire to know and to begin to really build upon, is what a true faithfulness to who you have called us to be. Lord, for that to be a surety, in every one of our hearts, Lord, that our very hearts with your Spirit would be that which instructs every other aspect of our being. So, Father, we truly do anticipate, Lord, what you have in store for us to put these things into practice in our own families and community. In this way, may we continually build each other up, praying for one another, encouraging one another, and being there for one another in a genuine and constructive way. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Bless you, Noah. Have a great day, okay? So, yeah.
Bless you too. All right. Enjoy the remainder of yours as well.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, bye. Yeah.
Bye.